Yo, what is going on, guys? Episode 48 of many. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have been under the weather the last couple days. I've basically been sleeping all day. Today is Monday, August 11th, and I actually just got to the office after a 2.5 hour mid-morning nap. So that is how I have been feeling. Basically, all weekend I was napping, relaxing, not really getting my steps and activity in. So I kind of just feel like, not ideal, but it is what it is. So currently I'm actually getting like hot flashes and stuff too, body aches, it sucks. But we've made a commitment to get these episodes out every Tuesday and Thursday, so I am here to record an episode and get something out. So today we're just going to go over some business, gym updates, stuff like that, and then just kind of give you a little message. So it's going to be a short episode. So again, thanks for tuning in. If you guys haven't been checking out the Instagram and the Facebook, I've been trying to get some of my own post up there. I know this is something I've been talking about since we started. I said, hey, I'm going to start posting to social media more, just get some more information out there. I have not been doing good at that, so I need you guys to hold me accountable. We did get 2 Instagram posts out in the last week or so. We were on a trip in Arizona, my brother and I, and then also my dad and mom came out there as well. We're on a really cool trip out in Arizona. Got to hang out with my mentor out there. We recorded a podcast with him, which obviously just released, I believe, 2 episodes ago, episode 46. So super cool when you can kind of take a little trip like that, but also get some work done. It was very hot out in Arizona, but anyways. So gym updates, business updates. We did get all new Inbodies for our facilities. So now, instead of having just one Inbody, which actually I'll back up. So the reason we got new Inbodies is with Chase departing our business and he's going into, obviously, Watoma Area School District, we needed to clean up some systems and organize some things better. And when he was with us, he still is with us as of this recording, but when he was doing this, he would be in charge of taking the one Inbody unit we had and taking it from facility to facility. Inbodies are not a cheap tool. They are several $1,000s. I want to say between, depending on what model you get, anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12. I mean, their most expensive model is like $25,000, which is more, like hospital grade, right? So anyways, with Chase leaving, he was the one that was transporting our Inbody around and getting it to our clients and our gyms, and it just wasn't making sense. So I said, you know what? We're going to bite the bullet. We got 3 more. They allow you to do a very low interest rate over, 3 years or 4 years. So doing the math on the deal, looking at it, it makes sense to do it. So we officially have one at Watoma, Amro, Berlin, and Princeton now. We already obviously have one at Oshkosh as well. So that is a huge plus for our clients and for our systems of things. When we get a new client, our goal is to use our Inbody unit to really see where your starting point is. If you sign up today for our training department, or training program, and our Inbody unit comes to you in 2 weeks, we've already lost 2 weeks of progress. And you can actually see a ton of progress those first couple weeks because your body is going through so much change. Usually when you start a new program, you have a new motivation, right? So you maybe start eating a little bit better, start drinking a little bit more water or whatever it may be. And you can just see massive results in the first 2 to 4 weeks. So we're missing out on a lot of those results and proving those results to you. Obviously, you can hop on the scale at home and see you're down some weight, but being able to see muscle gain and fat loss and water weight, like seeing all of that is very important to the program, to you as an individual. So we felt it was necessary. So we got 3 more, and we are going to be building out an Inbody room in Watoma. We don't currently have a great spot for it here in Watoma, but when our back section is rocking and rolling, we'll have our Inbody back there. We'll have a really nice setup for all that stuff. So I believe Amro has already got a setup for the Inbody room. Berlin's already got an Inbody room. And Princeton already has a room designated for that. Watoma's kind of the only one that doesn't have a ideal setup for Inbody, but we're going to make it work. So, and those of you who are not in our training programs, your first Inbody is free. And then we do $25 scans after that. You get an app on your phone. You set it up, your user ID set up as your phone number. You get an app on your phone. And then every time you do it, it'll save your history to your user ID. And the app on your phone will show you kind of like your progress from day 1 to now, your most recent scan, your history, it'll just give you a lot of detail on that scan, a lot more than just the piece of paper that we hand you. So anyways, super interesting. If you've never done it, try it. I know a lot of people are scared of the scale. They don't want to see what's really there, but a lot of people are stagnant. You'll be working out for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and the scale just kind of stay the same. It's good to see that you're up body fat, up lean muscle mass, down body fat, right? So, and I believe the new Inbodies we got, which I think Amro will have our original unit. So sorry, Amro, but our other 3 units will be measuring visceral fat as well. So, and some other cool little ins and outs. So anyways, I'll stop rambling about Inbody. Super excited about it. I just want you guys to really utilize this tool because it is expensive for us. And I think it'll help you guys on your fitness journey a lot as well. So that's a big one. Priority Fitness, trying to think if there's any updates that I want to give you guys there. August is a little bit of a slower month for us as a business, which, here's kind of an interesting thought, right? What do you do? I'll back up. So Grizzly Fitness is a business where it's like recurring revenue, right? We've got gym memberships. It's similar to like a Netflix model, a Spotify model, right? You pay a monthly fee and you get a service, which is a great model. Priority Fitness is a company that relies on other businesses to sell new product, to hire us out, right? So don't get me wrong. We can definitely do more to have our own customers calling us more and that kind of stuff for Priority Fitness, but when I say it's a slow month, it's because the large companies that we do installs for, it's just a slow month for them, right? So the month of August, there's not a ton of sales. There's not a ton of installs going on in the month of August. So the plus side of when we have a slow month is that Grizzly gets more work done. We own a couple pieces of real estate. So when Priority slows down, they get to help on some projects at our pieces of real estate. So, for example, out back in Watoma, out back in Berlin, there's some cleanup work that we want to do. There's some demo work that we need to do at the facilities. There's some like general cleanup and maintenance we have to do at the facilities, right? So when Priority's slow, Grizzly gets some extra hands on deck. Grizzly does pay for that service. I don't know. So anyways, sorry. If you guys are listening, you guys aren't going to hear it on the recording, but we're down in our studio and hearing some noises we've never heard before. We don't hang out down here all the time, so me and Garrett just kind of keep looking at each other like, what the hell is that noise? So anyway, so yes, when Priority's slow, Grizzly benefits from it, but the unfortunate thing is when Priority's slow, it's not necessarily just getting the income that it was before. So it's a lot of like balancing it out and making sure that we're still making enough money to cover the obvious things, right? Payroll, rent, that stuff. Not saying it's that slow, but it's just an interesting pivot. As a business owner, you just kind of figure out, well, what can we do? How do we generate more revenue on our own? When you don't have a recurring revenue model, it's a little bit different, a little bit of a different stressor in a way. So, anyways, thought maybe you guys would find that interesting. So I know September is supposed to be picking up. Matrix Direct does a lot of installs with us, so like corporate Matrix said September is going to be an extremely busy month. So hopefully we're doing some more Planet Fitness work that I've talked to you guys about in the past. So see how it goes. Grizzly Fitness, I'll kind of hint at a couple things. We are, looking at a couple. I'll give you guys my mindset. So something really interesting that I believe Elon Musk said, and then I heard it through a couple other like big names like that, was you look at your 10-year vision and you take your 10-year vision. So you take your 10-year vision and then what you do is you try to accomplish it in 6 months. Now, you're probably not going to accomplish your 10-year vision in 6 months, but you're going to be a hell of a lot closer than the guy who waited 10 years for his vision to come true. So this is a very interesting mentality, very interesting mindset. This is something that I've been thinking about more lately. And it's interesting because we can get very complacent. We're doing our day-to-day operations. We're like, oh, we're working on this system, we're working on that system. We're not too worried about the next project or whatever. I do very well under like chaos. Like I like a lot of different things going on. I like a lot of different projects happening. I like being in several different places. Like I just enjoy that feeling, right? So we obviously have a lot of projects to do, which is great. We've got the lower Watoma section, which is what I consider us in right now. We've got our studio to build out. We've got our amenity section right next to us that we need to build out, which would be like our tanning sauna and that kind of stuff. We've got some other little projects to finish up in the gym here. There's always things to do, but we are now I'm taking a different mental approach to if we wanted to say have 25 gyms, how would we go about that? And what would our goal be with that? Like what towns would be hit, right? So look at the map and think about what areas would be really good fit for Grizzly Fitness, because not that I think we couldn't go anywhere, just kind of figuring out like what makes the most logical sense. Obviously, if we went to the Dakotas or across the country, that's probably not what we would want to do. We want to kind of stay right in our area, right in our wheelhouse, and just kind of expand out from here. So real estate's always a problem that we face with that, but if we wanted to expand to multiple locations, why would we be doing that, and how can we accomplish that? So what I'm hinting at is that we are looking at a potential we're looking at 2 other opportunities for Grizzly Fitness. I'm not going to release too much information on that, but we are pursuing them. We are interested in them. Nothing's signed yet. Nothing is like happening tomorrow, but we are looking into potentially 2 other facilities, which would be super cool. Again, real estate's tough, so it's going to be hard to come across to Watoma where we've got 15,000 square feet, or a Berlin where we've got like 14,000 square feet. But helping small communities is what we're about. So these 2 particular that we're looking at would be much more because they don't have anything, because they could use something. At least one of them would be much more like that, where there's just nothing in the area. You got to drive 30, 40 minutes to get something. I think it would be good for the community. So once I've got more details, I'm definitely going to let you guys know. I think it's exciting. Hopefully you guys kind of think that's exciting. If you guys have any questions on what that process looks like maybe, or how do you pick a town or whatever, you know what I mean? Like shoot me a message. We can talk about it more on the next podcast. But anyway, super exciting. That's kind of like the other Grizzly news that's going on. Last piece of news that I'll mention before I kind of get into today's message is we did put an offer in on another property that is not related to a fitness center, but it would, again, benefit one of our facilities. It would be a different piece of real estate compared to what we've owned. It would be similar to kind of what we're in right now, like our little studio space adjacent to one of our gyms. So I should have an update on that. I would assume this week. We are pursuing that one pretty hard. We're just looking to buy the property. It would give us some opportunity for some like gym amenities as well at one of our facilities. And it would also, there's actually an apartment as well. So anyways, I won't say anything more. I probably shouldn't have said anything at all, because I know when people start hearing things, they start asking a lot of questions and they're wondering when it's going to happen. I don't have answers. This is where we're at. I think it's very exciting. And I want you guys to understand from a business owner standpoint, this is just kind of a little bit of the process and the steps that we are in. So today's message, today's thought is think about, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, right? But who is in your inner circle? Who do you spend time with? Friends, colleagues, family members, spouses, whatever. Who is in your inner circle will directly reflect you, right? Like they kind of say like the law of the average, right? You take you and your 5 friends, and you average it out between like the 5 of you, you can kind of figure out what you all roughly make, right? As far as income goes, a lot of your habits are going to be the same and that kind of stuff. So the reason I'm talking about this, here at our company, we're very self-development. Like we encourage self-improvement. We encourage education. We encourage the best version of you. Like that's what we are really shifting towards. Like when I grew up, I was always, to say it straightforward, I was kind of a dickhead when it came to sports and making my guys the best versions of themselves. And I used it was a different kind of motivation when you were a kid in sports. I was always like, hey, if, you're going to let me go get all the gains, basically, you're just going to be left behind, right? Like you got to kind of put it to you straight like that. Like just tell them exactly how it is. So I was rough on the guys, Nolan, Kyle, a lot of my football buddies and stuff. I was making sure they were getting in the gym, and I was being a leader. Like I didn't have a choice but to give them shit and make sure they showed up. So as adults now, that's not the approach that I take. We're not training for a state championship, a conference championship. Like we're not training for these things in sports, but it's different trying to motivate adults. It's different trying to tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing. But here at this business, we are very, hey, who's coming to the gym tomorrow morning? Who have you been working out? In all of our team meetings, we do personal wins. We do personal rocks. A lot of these rocks are around our personal health and fitness. Maybe they're financial. Maybe they're They don't have to be personal health and finance, but a lot of them are. So we can all hold each other accountable and help take ourselves, up to the next level. So your inner circle, your group of people that you spend time with, your goal is to put yourself with a group that kind of brings you up to the next level, that pushes you to be better. If I'm hanging out with a group of guys who like to drink soda and sit on the couch and not do a whole lot, more than likely I'm going to be willing to say this is okay. I can do this as well. Now, there are strong-minded individuals that might have that group of friends that like they can hang out with, but that's not necessarily what they do. I'm not saying this isn't everything, but generally your 3 to 5 closest friends are going to be a direct reflection of you. If I work out, all my closest friends work out because I basically make them, right? I'm bringing them up to the next level. So be careful and be cautious on who you're spending your time with. And realize that like family members can also bring you down. And sometimes you need separation from your family members. I'm not encouraging to leave your family members by the wayside, but sometimes you got to realize a lot of people look at it from, a view outside the building, right? They're just kind of, oh, that sounds hard. Like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Or, you're not going to be successful. That's going to be too tough. Like, just go get the 9 to 5, right? Like, they're encouraging these things because that's what their life path is. And they're nervous to kind of take that step. So when you're with this group of people, just think about who you're spending time with and what they like to do. What are their habits? How do they spend their free time? And then kind of reflect on your own life and be like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? I have a lot of bad habits because I spend time with this group of people. Or, like if you're in a group of people and you're all, if I'm the one friend that is overweight in my group and my group's not telling me to go to the gym and be a healthier version of myself, like they don't really care about me long term, right? Like they should be, and they should be pushing me to do that. So it's just something to think about. That inner circle really matters. As far as your career path, your fitness path, your financial path, like all of these different things, like that group of people, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. This is what I do at least. Maybe you guys don't, but when I meet somebody, and say there's like a slight language barrier, and I can only say this because I've had several friends in my inner group that they actually speak like fluent Spanish and then also English, and they just kind of have that Spanish, call it like twang, right? Like that Spanish, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, so when they're talking to me that way, I almost kind of change my tone of voice and kind of come back at them the same way because that makes us more welcoming, it's just a different level of connection, right? So I always take the approach, like know who you're talking to and understand who you're talking to. And this is a totally different topic, but I try to match the level of the individual I'm talking to so that way they feel comfortable and that they can talk to me. That's more of a persuasion tool, conversational piece than it is the inner circle. So, so something to think about is like, that group of people that you're with. Like, I think one of the like energy is contagious, right? You see people in your group becoming better versions of themselves, getting that car they want. Like it motivates you to do better too. And a lot of this stuff I can keep saying about this inner circle. It's gonna be the same conversation. The more that these people do of the same shit, the more that you're likely to do the same shit they're doing. So you need to audit yourself. You need to audit that friend group. I'm not saying you can never talk to these people again, but get in that next level up. Get in that next room and push yourself to become the best version of you, right? Whatever that means, you guys should be putting health first. You should realize long term, you need to have, like, without health, you've got nothing, right? And if you're stuck in a group that doesn't care about their health first, consider pivoting and pushing yourself to get out of that group. Don't spend as much time with them. Better yourself or become that person in that group that takes your group to the next level. Hey guys, why don't we all start going for a morning walk? Why don't we all start, why don't we train for a 5K? Like how dumb is that, right? Like whatever it is, either be the change that it needs to be or go find the change that you need, right? Go find that next level group. Maybe bring somebody else into your group if you can. Find someone like me and stay close to them and let that person help take you up to the next level. So there's several different little sayings I can say about this, but that inner circle directly reflects you in most cases. If you're with a group of people that like to work at I don't want to call anybody out or say, I don't want to try to, just whatever this group of people are doing. Maybe they're unemployed, maybe they're working part-time, whatever it is. That group is going to be generally the same. So I assume you guys know what I'm saying, but just again, audit that group, figure out what you're doing, figure out why you're doing it, figure out where you want to go. And it's going to take some self-reflection. It's going to take some, time to realize what you want to do and figure that out. But get out of that group, be that change in your group, whatever it may be, figure that out, and figure out how to be the best version of yourself. That's the main message for today. Audit that inner circle and figure out what you need to do to be the change you need. So I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to do a pod here. I am like sweating and it's not that hot down here, but I appreciate you guys. I should be feeling better by Wednesday for our next pod. I do have some really cool interviews coming up. Some guys that I've got I believe this Thursday, I am recording an episode with a buddy as long as our schedules mash up. A kid that I actually went to middle school with. He was a grade older than I was. He's got a really cool weight loss journey, a really cool fitness journey as a whole. I actually signed him up at our original Princeton gym like 7-8 years ago. And ever since that point, he's really stuck with it. And it's just a really cool story. He's really changed his life for the better. And so I want you guys to kind of hear his really cool story. I've got another guy similar to that. Actually, I went to school in Westfield. It's funny. These two guys, we were on the wrestling team together. They were more like heavyweight guys, and I wasn't a heavyweight guy. And I don't know if these two cross paths a lot anymore, but they were friends back at that point. And they both went on their own separate fitness journeys. Obviously, once I interviewed them, I'll learn a little bit more. But I'm actually interviewing both of these guys at separate times in the next a couple of weeks. So it'll be super cool. I want you guys to hear some of that inspiring stuff. I want you guys to know that, you guys can do it. And also when I release those types of episodes, I want you guys to be able to take that episode, share it with somebody who needs to hear that kind of inspiring advice and help people become the best versions of themselves. I'm actually taking on a really good, how do I say it? Somebody that I went to school with that struggles with weight problems. I am looking to work with him very closely over the next several months to help change his life. And I'm saying this out loud to hold myself accountable, and hopefully he listens to this and holds himself accountable as well. But somebody who needs the help, who needs the drive, who needs to have somebody in his inner circle that helps him become the best version of himself. So that's something really cool that's going on in my life too. It's just I don't want to call it a project, but it's something I'm taking on myself because I care about him and I want to see him become what I know he can be, So anyways, I'll leave it off there. I do appreciate you guys. If you want to add me on Snapchat, Colton.Burt, COLTON.BURT. Again, go check out the Instagram and Facebook. Give me some love there. ColtonBurt19 on both of those. Otherwise, just search me on Facebook. If you want to email us, in the producer chair, it's just Garrett@fitnessgrizzly.com. We got rid of the marketing at Fitness Grizzly. I felt like that was kind of cheesy, and I don't want you to feel like you're emailing like a do not reply email or some kind of like automation subscription thing. So Garrett@fitnessgrizzly.com, GARRETT. Give him some insight. Let him know if there's things you guys want to hear in the podcast, some things you want to see changed. Maybe you want to come on and do an episode with me. If you are listening and you're interested in doing an episode and you've got a really cool story that other people would like to hear, that'd be awesome. Obviously, if you've got a good following, we're looking to do some collaboration stuff with other people who've got some good following, so that way we can help get the word out there as well. So just some stuff to think about. So thank you guys. I feel like I was rambling this episode, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully I'm feeling better for next episode, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good one.